Then Green produced an awesome all-round performance to lead his young Somerset Chargers to a wonderful one-run one-day cup win over Glamorgan in Taunton. The match was initially reduced to 41 overs per side after a delayed start, and after being asked to bat first, Somerset lost Sam Young to the fourth ball of the day. Not much he could do to avoid a good delivery from Michael Hogan. Hogan had a second at the start of his second over. Andy Gorvin with an excellent catch at mid-wicket, which had Stephen Davies on his way for two. And Somerset found themselves on 11 for 3 in the fifth over. Hogan with figures of 3 for 3 after he bowled George Bartlett with an inducker. Conditions for batting certainly not ideal. James Hildreth had recovered from his efforts on Sunday and hoped for more of the same. But this was tough and he perished on 13. Hogan having a dream day as he found some bounce and the edge to reduce the home team to 26 for 4, the bowler now with figures of 4 for 13. Thankfully he was rested after 5 fantastic overs, but runs were still very hard to come by. This a rare boundary as Somerset could only post 46 runs from 15 overs. And they were then 5 down as Eddie Byram nicked off after making 10. After 25 overs, Somerset had made 84 for 5, with Green leading the recovery in partnership with Lewis Goldsworthy. More rain then took the players off, and when they returned, the match had been reduced further to 37 overs per side. So Somerset needed to get a move on, and that is just what Green achieved. While so many had found scoring freely so difficult, Green stood out, batting with real style, knowing that every run was so important on a day which was bound to be enjoyed by the bowlers more than the batsmen. Green's 8th boundary took him to a brilliant half-century. He'd used up only 48 balls to get there, and in circumstances such as these, that was a truly outstanding effort. Goldsworthy too deserves credit for sticking it out for 73 balls and making his 41. An innings ended as he tried to add to the one boundary he'd hit, but holed out instead. His partnership with Green had been worth 86 runs, and the skipper was now left to make the most of the remaining 27 deliveries, and that he did. It was easy to forget that this was only his 5th List A game, and he'd governed the contest from the moment he came to the crease. And he was still there in the last over and took his tally to 87 with a maximum off Lucas Carey. As he tried to go big again, he dragged the ball back onto his stumps, but his work had given his side hope as they ended their 37 overs on 180 for 7. A great effort given the start. He had given his side momentum, and that was continued by Jack Brooks, who trapped Hamish Rutherford in front in the first over of the Glamorgan pursuit of 181. That wicket was backed up by Sonny Baker, who caused Nick Selman all sorts of difficulties as he prodded the ball via pad to Byram. The visitors were finding batting against the new ball as problematic as it had been earlier, and they were on 44 for 3 in the 10th over as Kieran Carlson found the pace of Casey Aldridge too much, Davis showing his fitness to complete the dismissal. Green's wonderful day then continued. He brought himself on to deliver the 11th over and immediately produced a beauty which bowled Stephen Reingold for 16. With Green having the Midas touch, his side were now on top, only for Tom Cullen and Billy Root to hold up the progress as Green and Goldsworthy had done earlier for their team. As each over went by without a wicket, Glamorgan were becoming the favourites to make it 3 wins from 3 in this competition. Cullen and Root added 75 for the 5th wicket. The stand ended as the former, on 37, glanced another speedy delivery from Aldridge to Davis, who held on splendidly. So after 27 overs, Glamorgan were on 128 for 5 and thus needed 53 more runs from the remaining 10 overs. Aldridge was using this moment to show his skills, and he next had Joe Cook edging behind. What followed under pressure was a big moment for debutant George Drissel, who removed the one man who stood between Somerset and another win, Root, Hildreth completing the crucial dismissal. Perhaps for the first time all day, it was the home team which now had their noses firmly in front, and when Baker was called upon again, he had Callum Taylor dragging on with his first ball. On 161 for 8, Glamorgan needed 21 from 4 overs, and who else but Green then just about ensured the win, as he had Carey held by Baker, much to the annoyance of the batsman. The last pair of Gorvin and Hogan took this magnificent match into the final over, with the visitors needing 10. Green gave Goldsworthy the ball, and he did his job perfectly. 6 were wanted off the final delivery. Gorvin advanced and drilled his shot straight, but to the delight of the home support, the ball bounced before the rope, and Somerset had claimed a memorable win, Glamorgan ending on 179 for 9. And that meant a Somerset victory by 1 run in what was an excellent advert for this competition, Somerset's youngsters providing much entertainment. They will look for more as they head to Welbeck Colliery next on Friday to take on Peter Trigo and his Notts team.